What's going on, guys? We are back once again, and we are finally going to be doing a season 1 review of the Winchesters. Now, I know a lot of people, including myself, have their own issues with the show, and I will get into that just a little bit later on, but I want to go ahead and talk about that last episode that we recently got, the season finale. We got to see a lot of familiar faces come back, and again, if you guys did not see it, spoiler alert, we will be getting the spoilers, and also at the same time, we will be talking about the future of the Winchesters, some theories, and also some other things that may or may not happen, and also who return. So stay tuned. What do you guys think? Also, let me know down in the comments, and let's go ahead and get going. Guys, this was a hell of an episode. This was honestly, I think, my favorite episode of the season. Not only did we get to see a hell of a familiar face return, but multiple. Dean came back. We saw Bobby. We even get to see Jack. So, to give you guys a quick synopsis of what happened this season, or this episode. They're wanting to still go up against the Krita, and someone that Samuel knows has supposedly seen Dean and knows who he is, and as soon as they go there, it gets revealed that this woman is the queen and who took over her, and we see that she was a hunter, then she decided she got trapped somewhere and then wanted to become the queen of the Krita, and then somehow she says that she, I guess, trapped Dean somehow, or whoever this mysterious person was, is what they kept saying. Then also at the same time, we do see in the beginning episode of Dean giving John a letter that was obviously for him, and then we see Bobby even there saying you're not supposed to mess with, time, and he states that, it's not, it's just a little nudge. So, long story short here, guys, is that they finally go up against the Akrita, and we also see where they get this big battle in. Mary's willing to sacrifice herself to save everybody, even though she's very close to going to college soon as well. And what we see is, while them trying to find something to bring this mysterious character into the fray, guess what shows up? We get to see the Impala. We get to see Baby return. And they get into the car, they start riding, and she tells everybody to get out, and she looks at John's mom. She says, take care of him for me. And she's willing to risk herself, obviously, for everybody. That is literally, the Dean thing, what Dean would do. And she just literally smashes into the queen of the Akrita, goes through this portal, and then I would say not even 5 minutes later, you see the Impala jump back out, and Dean gets out of the car with Mary, and they're asking, of course, who he is. And he says that she protect Mary and me too. And I also did. So, no, he does not tell them who he is for reasons enough, because he's already messed with a timeline. He states that he is from an alternate universe. So this is an alternate universe. This has nothing to do with the canon that we all know and love. This has nothing to do with any type of canon that we already know. Dean already says that he's dead, that in his world that God, that the Akrita was a last resort, and when they finally, he failed, and so the Akrita was going after everybody. They were going to go after his world. He was not going to allow that to happen. And then his goal was to find his family, and he was traveling through the multiverses while he was driving. So it is confirmed that Jack restored the multiverses. Dean is still dead this time. It picked up right after where we left them in the series finale of Supernatural, that Sam is still alive on their Earth, raising his son with his family. And again, we don't know how long it was from the time Sam lost Dean from the time Sam died. We don't know. So we find out that Bobby gets Jack, and they're like, okay, well, who's that? He says, that's Bobby and that's Jack. They're with me. They're family. It's okay. And he gives Mary and John a lot of information, because he says, if you're going to stay in this game, then you're going to need this. And he gives John his journal in saying that my dad has something like this. He says, I lived my life by it, and it saved my ass a few times. He says, make sure you use it. And then also, he gives Mary the Colt, and he warns her about yellow eyes, saying, do not hesitate. Take him, basically put a bullet between his eyes, just like how he did. And his goal was obviously try to make a better life in this world than him and Sam actually had. And Jack does get on to him saying that he wanted to have nobody mess with human lives, but he even said, I had to save my family. He even says, hey, you're going to keep me out of heaven, go ahead and do it. And I think that's was pretty much the whole thing that a lot of people was waiting on was, okay, how's this going to connect? What's happening? And I will say this, there was a lot of connecting. It also kind of makes me wonder, was Rowena the one that we saw is the Rowena we know and love from our world, or our so-called world, the way we know our characters, or is it, another version of Rowena? Because again, she said at the very end of that episode, I'm looking for my son. So again, we don't know if this is the alternate version of Rowena or this is the Rowena that we know. Mary and John do go together at the very end, so I'm assuming she's going to college, just doing her own thing. And we now know where Dean got the whole music, driver picks the music, shotgun touches kickle, was from Mary. So it was really interesting how that ended. Samuel's still back. He's still going to be hunting. Everybody else is going to be doing their own thing, but Mary and John are going to be doing their own thing together, possibly going to college, living their lives, doing whatever they were going to do together. John was willing to lose her to have her have a normal life, but at the same time, she still wants him to be a part of it. So overall, I would say a very good ending of the season, possibly a good ending of the series if they don't get picked up for another season. Season 2 is going to be very interesting if there will be a season 2. Who else will show up in the fray again? Will Dean ever show up again? Will any other character that we know of show up again? Again, it's very diverse of like, okay, who we going to see, who we not going to see, who's going to be brought up. Because again, they do not know, of course, that was their future son, Dean Winchester. And at the same time, they do not know who Bobby is. So again, we may meet Bobby soon, a younger Bobby. We may see other angels possibly come in, maybe trying to do whatever. Or also because again, now that Jack has taken over as God, he is letting the universes live their own lives without any kind of angelic interference. And that is the thing that I think that he was not wanting Dean to do, but he still did it anyway to help his family, to try to say, okay, maybe this version can have the best version that they possibly can be, where my dad and my mom can still be alive, maybe my grandfather, maybe they can be better than what we were, and at the same time of having their friends with them and having a gang and having help and having people, and then maybe Sam and I can finally live a somewhat normal life and do what we always wanted to do. So it's kind of interesting of a lot of theories on what could possibly happen in the future of the supernatural universe. So overall, guys, it was very interesting. Again, I've had my own issues with the Winchesters for multiple reasons. Sometimes I just can't get into the episode, or I'm just not a big fan of some of these characters. I'm not a big fan of like Carlos, or I'm not a fan of the other one that was the witch. I'm not a big fan of her. I don't mind Latia. I think she had a lot of great character development, but 9 times out of 10, I really didn't really care about her character too much. Mary and John, there was a lot of boring moments. There was a lot of boring hunts at the same time of, just trying to, like, I don't really care about this, I don't care about that. The creator to me wasn't that big of a bad like the others that they have gone up against later on in earlier seasons of Supernatural. Like, I think that Leviathans were honestly probably more of a threat than these guys, out of my opinion. Or, even Lucifer, or all these other characters that they've gone up against. But again, those are just my options. I could go on and on and on and on about this. But overall, guys, what did you think of the season? What did you guys think of the last episode? What did you guys think about Dean and Bobby and even Jack returning to Supernatural, or the Supernatural universe, to the Winchesters? What is your overall thoughts? Please let me know down in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, so about subscribing. Leave a big fat like on the video. And as always, I've seen you guys on the very next one.